Welcome to this week's episode of Illinois Corn TV, where today we'll celebrate the groundbreaking of a new lock in the U.S., we'll learn a little about the wet milling conference in South Korea, and what pesky pests we need to be scouting in the fields. Please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube and Facebook page for more ag information. Well, Illinois Corn has been working on upgrading locks and dams for almost 3 decades. Garry Niemeyer, who is on the Illinois Corn Board, talks about the history of these locks and dams as well as the partnership along the way.
Our locks and dams were built in the late 20s, early 30s. In 4 years, they built all of them. And right now, all of them need to be replaced because they were built the last 50 years, and we're approaching 70, 80 plus years on a lot of these locks and dams. They're starting at the bottom to replace them. The locks, when they were originally built, were for 600 foot. That was the largest traffic they had at that time, just back in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s. Now we have ships that are 1,200 foot long, and that's the only reason that they went to 1,200 foot because of bends in a river, and then they have to break the toe at the 600 foot. So they break the toe half in two. And usually it's 3 wide, 5 barges, and the ship, the barge that pushes them up and down the river. So when they break them in two, it's really a dangerous, very safety concerning issue. So our purpose was to, if we're going to upgrade the locks, let's build 1,200 foot locks so we can become more efficient, cut the cost of time in moving our grain from here to the Gulf of Mexico, for example.
After decades of advocacy, education, diligence, and tenacity, Illinois Corn celebrates the groundbreaking of a brand new 1,200 foot lock 25 near Winfield, Missouri today. Pat yourselves on the back, corn farmers. You did this. Elsewhere, the U.S. Grains Council hosted a wet milling conference in Seoul, South Korea for attendees hailing from 15 different countries to learn more about the cornstarch study and U.S. corn. The study results have demonstrated that U.S. corn has 3 to 4% more extractable starch than other origins, leading to the potential for increased profits by wet millers switching to U.S. corn. Illinois Corn was thrilled to invest in this project to illustrate the value of U.S. corn. Illinois Corn presented as well at the conference, showing Illinois farming practices and quality. Finally, we're almost at 100% of corn planted in Illinois, and we had a chance to hear from Kelly Estes with the State Agricultural Pest Survey about seeing black cutworms in parts of the state.
We heard about some feeding in western Illinois last week. Towards the end of last week, also, I had a report of cutworms feeding around the Peoria area as well. So we like to give growers a heads up on what's going on in their fields. So we're encouraging growers to get out and take a look at their fields. Typical black cutworm injury is going to vary by the size of or instar of the cutworm that's in the field. Early instars are smaller, so their feeding is smaller. Looks like little pinhole feeding on the leaves, and as they get bigger, they actually will cut plants off at the base, which is very indicative of their name of being a cutworm. So you're looking for cut plants, damaged plants, maybe plants that have been cut and pulled towards a clod of dirt or something like that. We started this segment talking about how nice it is, and it's actually heating up quite rapidly. So during the middle of the day, you're probably not going to see black cutworm out feeding when it's really hot and sunny. Early in the morning, later in the afternoon, early evening, as temperatures cool down, you're more apt to see them actively feeding. Otherwise, you're going to need to be searching underneath residue or underneath clods of soil to see if they're there.
Thank you for tuning in to this week of Illinois Corn TV. I'm Lauren Fulmer, and we'll see you on the next episode. Have a great week.